Hey everyone, this is Amber with Economical Mommy, and today I'm going to show you how to make a bow tie for your little boy for Easter or for any other special occasion. First things first, what you're going to need is you're going to need your elastic, your ribbon, your scissors, and you will also need a glue gun and some extra glue sticks. Another thing you're going to need is you're going to need a sewing machine and a button. So here we go. First things first, you're going to need your child. Once you've measured your child's neck, go ahead and measure out the elastic correctly and cut where it needs to be cut. The next thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to grab your ribbon, and you need to be able to fold it over just like that, and then you're going to make another little cut right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the ribbon right now, and I'll show you what it looks like after I'm done. Alright, I have now cut the ribbon, and it is approximately 6 inches long. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fold your ribbon so that way both sides come together in the middle like this. And the reason for that is you actually want to hide that seam. Yes, it is very hard to work with one hand. Sorry. So you're going to want to bring that together like that. This will be in the back of the bow. So once you turn it over and you've glued it and everything, it's going to be nice and cute like that. So the first things first, we're going to go ahead and use the glue gun, and we're going to glue these two back pieces down so they're not flimsy like that. Alright, one thing to remember once you have this folded over, you want to make sure that you're keeping track of where you actually need to stick that hot glue once your glue gun is all set and ready to go. So this is kind of our little marker right here. So we're just going to stick our finger there, and that is where we are going to glue. As you can see, I also pressed the edges of those ribbons down, so I actually have a crease on both sides. I did that for the main purpose of being able to make sure that I'm in the middle when I'm gluing. So my glue gun is all set and ready to go, and I'm going to go ahead and grab it, and we're going to start gluing. There, I went ahead and did some glue, and now we're going to go ahead and fold it over and seal it in place. And we're going to do that again with this side as well. Alright, I got this side also glued down, and now we're going to flip it over. And now it looks just plain and ordinary and simple, but now we're going to go ahead and use that same purple ribbon. You're going to figure out how much you're going to need, and you're going to cut that ribbon as well, and then we're going to flip it over and glue it down. So here we go. To help ensure that you really get a good looking bow, you're going to need to fold these over. Alright, finally figured a way how to prop my phone up. Yay! Anyways, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take this edge right here and we're going to fold it underneath, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then we're going to pinch the middle down. So essentially what will happen is this is what your bow will look like. Now to make this a little bit easier, you can go ahead and use some needle and thread and sew all those edges down. It will make it a little bit easier for when you have to use your ribbon to wrap around. Now one of the other things you can do is if you don't have needle and thread on you right away, like I didn't at the moment, you can also go ahead and glue the middle with your hot glue gun and then just keep it squeezed until it dries. Once that has dried, you can go ahead and grab your other ribbon. Now because our ribbon is really wide, we're going to squish it down like this so it actually looks like it was tied. See what I did there? Do it again. And then we're just going to flip it right underneath. Like so. Now you can do that, or you can also cut your ribbon accordingly. In this case, I like to leave a little extra because of what I'm doing next here. And that is I'm actually going to tie this thing right around there and knot it in the back. Right, so that's what it looks like from the front. Don't worry, we will be getting rid of these little endings right here because a bow tie does not have ends. So once you have figured out how you want your bow tie to be, go ahead and cut those ends and then glue this portion down to the actual bow tie here. Alright, so now the question comes to be, what does it look like on the other side? Alright, and there's the cute little bow tie. It's all complete. Before you attach your elastic to your bow, you're actually going to need to burn the ends of your elastic, and that will help keep it from unraveling with multiple uses. So here we go. Now you just need to do a little. You don't need to make it all black and actually catch on fire. Your goal is to actually just get that enough to where it melts just a little bit. That's about all you really need. I don't know if you can see that very well or not. But that's about it. So you want to do that on both ends. And if it does catch on fire, make sure you blow it out. Once you have burned the ends of the elastic, what you will want to do next is you're going to go ahead and loop over one end. And then you're just going to go ahead and tack that down. You can either sew it by hand, like I'm going to do, or you can use your sewing machine. It's entirely up to you. And the reason we're doing this is because we're going to sew a button on the other end. Alright. Go through a couple more times, and then we'll go ahead and knot it. Now, I don't know how your mother showed you how to knot, but this is how I knot. I just go ahead and stick my needle through some of the fabric or some of the threads, pull it through enough to where I have a loop, and then I go through like that and pull it down. And I do that about 2 or 3 times, and then we're all done. Now we have our loop on the end, and on the other end, you're going to want to sew a couple of buttons. So then after you do this, you're going to go ahead and you want to make sure you try it on your son and make sure that the elastic actually works on here. So it's essentially going to be tight, and it's going to hang on like that. Pretty nice. So now that we got those things done, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this. We're going to actually sew this on here now, just like that. Alright? So you're going to want to figure out where your middle is. And in my case, my middle is going to be right here, so this is where I'm going to... So right here is the middle, so this is where I'm going to actually sew on the bow right here. Now one of the things that you want to do with this is you just want to turn it over. Make sure you've knotted your thread, and then you want to go ahead and just tack this down with the needle and thread. Alright, so we can go ahead and snip those little strings off there. And now your child's little bow tie is complete. Simple as that. And then you just have to put it around their neck. Now the elastic really shouldn't show once you have placed it underneath the collars of your little boy's shirt. But in case that is a possibility and that might bug you, just go ahead and before you put the elastic on, you can create a sleeve for the elastic to actually go through. But that's it. That's how you make a little boy's bow tie, just in time for Easter or any other special occasion. So everyone have a wonderful Easter. Thank you for watching. And make sure to check us back out at economicalmommy.net for more money-saving tips and ideas.